crying little.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Josh, aka Fumbles, here with the streaming studio and also the podcast studio tonight. I'm going to try to do the podcast simultaneously, so I'm going to try to do the audio for this, so bear with me on both at the same time. Tonight, we're going to be covering the story of Trixie, the TR250, and if you're listening and you can't see us right now, Trixie, the TR250, is a bike, but she's a really fucking cool bike. She's right behind me. Right here. She's a Transition TR250 2012. Purple with some blue components on her. Got my race plates for the season and my beer helmet, I guess you could say, up there. It's pretty rad. We got a couple angles going right now for the video as well. Side note, I'm going to try to get all those cut properly. Anyway, Trixie the TR250, awesome bike. This is the story about how I got her because she was pretty much free over time. The way I got my first bike was free, but the bike itself was worth a bit of money, but it got stolen. People heard about it, and that's how I got her. So we're going to go into that right meow, the story of Trixie and how we got her. Additionally, we're going to go on this video and this podcast on how I became a sponsored rider, a grassroots sponsored rider, and what that means for you and me. And if you ever want to get into that as an athlete or a mountain biker, snowboarder, boxer, whatever you're into, you can get sponsorships on a lower level, grassroots level, get some percentages off the stuff you might be interested in. So just a thought, we're going to go into that. And then lastly, at the end of the video, I'm just going to say what mountain biking really meant to me and why this whole thing was kind of a really big deal and what it all meant to me internally as a person, like my mentality. So anyway, the story itself, we're going to get into that right now, and I'm going to try to stay on track and doing it well because I am doing the podcast at the same time. So you're going to hear some papers rustling. I'm trying to do this all right. Yeah, so the why is it's a super feel-good story. There's a little bit of a sad part beforehand. So we're going to do the story of Trixie first, and then we'll do the story of mountain biking after that. But the main point of this podcast is Trixie the TR250. So we're going to go into that first. On February 2nd of 2016, the school bus, aka Moby Dick, my Santa Cruz V10, was stolen off of our property in Shoreline. We were staying with our in-laws, and someone came on and cut the locks, and it sucked a lot. Some friends heard about it. Some friends heard about what had happened, and some people I worked with, and a couple different people set up GoFundMes, and we had to shut one of them down just because of GoFundMe's rules. But we ended up doing the second one, and they raised $2,500 in 24 hours, and enough money for me to get Trixie. So on February 2nd, my bike was stolen. On February 3rd, the GoFundMe Facebook post was made and raised all within 24 hours. On February 5th, a good friend of mine brought me a bike lock as a joke. On February 13th, I purchased this bike. She was not named Trixie at that point in time. And then on February 20th, on that day in February 20th, Matt Arnold, my brother-in-law, named her. Well, help me think of the name Trixie. So that's how she got her name, February 2nd, 20th. February 2nd to 20th, that all conspired. So yeah, a little more down-to-earth storytelling on that as opposed to me just reading some numbers. It sucked a lot, man, because I got home from helping my dad out with his website at the time, and came home, walked around the back, and I noticed my bike wasn't there, and I noticed the lock was cut, and I was like, oh, that's terribly unfortunate. That's pretty much how I deal with things for the most part. I just kind of like acknowledge it and then kind of deal with it from there, because if I just like freak out about it, not freak out about it, but if I stress out at that point in time and just don't just feel like, oh, that's a thing, it can spiral pretty quick. I think we've seen that in a couple of my videos when I talk just too much. Anyway, I'm going to read the post of what happened. I think it is more eloquent than what I can describe right now. I think I wrote it pretty well when I did it. So I'm going to read that, and then we are going to go to the sponsorship part, and I'll try to make notes in the video of where you can jump to. I'm going to try to produce this all correctly. This might not be the longest video, but I do want to do a video on how I got Trixie and do it properly produced. So that's here we are. Again, like I said, guys, bear with me. This is all pretty raw. So, too long, didn't read. I'm blown away. Thank you. I'm going to try to make something positive. An open letter. This is the letter I sent out when that person stole my bike. This is just a post I made because I was just fucking bummed as shit, dude. An open letter to the person who stole my bike. Today you decided it would be a super idea to walk into a backyard and steal an expensive looking bike because that's an awesome thing to do, right? Well, I'll tell you what, there's always good news and bad news. The good news is you're almost certainly going to get away with your erroneous actions because the likelihood of me finding my bike that you've stolen is very unlikely. I didn't write it like that. I wrote it worse. The good news is you have an awesome downhill bike now. I'm sure you'll certainly go rip some trails with that 2008 Santa Cruz V10 that you've hiked and ridden more times than I can count. And of course, the best news is you get away with an awesome criminal act and your bolt cutters are in working order. Here's the bad news though. None of it really pertains to you. I'm not going to get to ride as much, if at all, until I can afford another bike. If all the stars aligned and the sun smiled upon me when a chain of events happened that I could afford such a wicked awesome bike. The bad news is that I won't get to go ride the trails with my good friends and forget about the stress that I deal with every day. Oh yeah, sorry, I work full-time 40 hours plus a week. Go to school full-time 40 hours plus a week. And volunteer for an awesome organization that helps veterans. If you can't get a better kick out of that, I'm a vet. 2 tours to Iraq, 1 on a boat, 8 years of service. That really shouldn't make a difference though. The only thing that should matter is we're both human beings. Now, I'm not saying I have a rough life by any means. I thrive in it. I have an awesome wife and great friends, but now I don't have a bike. I'll actually do my best to explain why that sucks a lot and why you should actually care. I get to see my brother-in-law, who's become a close friend about once a week on average. We go meet up with some other wicked good people and ride bikes. It's becoming a ritual, something that's normal in life. Maybe like stealing is for you. Now this Saturday, instead of riding, I'll be moping around, getting some work done, and staring at bikes I can't afford before I go volunteer at a bike event. Oh yeah, want to know something hilarious? When you stole my bike, I was wearing my Northwest Riders shirt that I usually wear when I go out riding. My sister-in-law got it for me because she knows I love riding. In the grandest scheme of things, it doesn't really matter, I suppose, but a simple chain of events and extra stress you add to everyone's week is pretty douchey, if I'm going to be honest. My wife is furious. She knows how much that bike is worth, somewhere around $1,500. The people I ride with are super bummed because I don't get to ride. The sheriff said that I had to take time out of his day to come and get a police report on something so insignificant, he's probably more annoyed than he let on. Lastly, I'm so out of it, I can't even fathom your actions. You've literally ruined my week. Just go buy a new one, you say? Yeah, let me do that with all the dollars I make. So as thanks for teaching me a lesson that normal bike locks are worthless. I hope your life improves enough that you don't have to steal and enjoy the bike. And then the GoFundMe thing happened and all that. But, yeah, I wrote that letter. It was kind of fun. Get a little, I do well with letters sometimes. I do well with writing sometimes. So all that conspired, and I ended up getting Trixie, which was absolutely insane. I found it from a guy on Pink Bike. That is a wonderful site. Go check out pinkbike.com. I'll try to put that in my editing. pinkbike.com. Great website for resources like that. Buying new bikes, finding out where your bike might have been stolen. They have great forums, great articles, great videos, all sorts of really rad stuff from Pink Bike. So shout out to them. So, how did I get sponsored? How did we go from Trixie to sponsorship? Well, because Trixie is a part of my life. Like, mountain biking is a part of my life, so there's a lot of things that go around that. So that video is going to get into those things, and I want to do the Trixie story up front so people can end with their board. Hear this thing of how I got the cool bike from my people that bought it for me. If they want to hear the super backstory about how I got all into my biking for free and all that, they can stay around for that. But that was the initial part. Hopefully that camera has enough batteries to record the whole time. We will see. Okay. So, sponsorships as a mountain bike rider. When I got into mountain biking a little bit more seriously, when I started racing, when I got Trixie, I started racing more than actually racing then. I got into sponsorships on a very grassroots level, and I did that through an app on my phone called Hook It. Now, I need to do more research on the actual TOS and everything within Hook It and how much I really am getting out of it and everything like that. That's something you need to do the research on for yourself. But from what I learned from it and the things that I've gotten from it, it's pretty rad. I am a fully sponsored grassroots spider by Spy. Huck the fuck up. It actually means happy the funk up or something like that, but we all know it means huck the fuck up. Gotta throw it. Just gotta send it. I've also got my awesome Spy goggles here. Got my Fox riding gloves. I'm not sponsored by Fox, but I like their gloves. They're good. Got a specialized helmet up here with a whole bunch of beer stickers on it. All sorts of stuff. We're showing off a helmet for you podcasters. I'm showing off my race helmet that's got all these beer stickers from different breweries and then a chive sticker on the top and my old work sticker when I actually liked the collective. Race plates and all that. So you go on to Hook It. and you say, hey, I'm a writer, and then you tag all your social media things, and he basically rates you on how well you can be a social brand ambassador. So it's the idea of using a brand ambassador to get minor sponsorships and get percentages off. It's really rad. I'm also sponsored by GoPro. We're going to have a GoPro talk at the end of this video, guys. So if you're interested in GoPro stuff, we're going to have a GoPro thoughts and a GoPro spiel at the end of the video later. Hook it. If you want to get sponsored, grassroots wise, extreme sports, mountain biking, snowboarding, all that shit, check it out. Pretty rad. No big deal. Okay. Timeline on this podcast thing, video. I'm trying to multitask, guys. There's a lot of things going on in my mind. Okay, so the last part of this is why mountain biking was such a kind of big deal for me. And then we're going to go into the sponsorship stuff and all that. Not the how I got sponsored, but the sponsorship stuff. I'm looking for the streaming studio. What? We want to go full time. Say what? Just gotta send it. What if I just did my videos like that Deluxe Supreme guy? Hey guys, it's your boy Josh here, and I just wanted to talk to you about shredding that brown pow. You know, a lot of people say the brown pow is not as good as the white pow. No, that's not how we're going to go. Anyway, so when I got out of the Marine Corps in 2014, I really wanted to get back into mountain biking because I remember doing a lot when I was younger and I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. I loved riding BMXs. Mountain biking seemed like something really interesting. I still love trail riding. Trail riding's a good time. Just because I have a free ride bike doesn't mean I don't love trail riding. I just can't afford it. I don't have the dollars. Can't get another bike. Out in 2014, Okay, so I borrowed my brother's bike. We're gonna hopefully cut and edit that to make sense. Anyway, I borrowed my brother, my actual brother, Michael, blood brother, Michael. I borrowed his hardtail mountain bike as a Raleigh. Went out with my brother-in-law, Matt, my wife's sister's husband. My brother-in-law, Matt. He will be referred to as my brother from now on. We are homies. We're brothers. We're really fucking great friends. The first ride was on January 9th, 2015 that I could find a picture of. We started riding about once a week. The second time we went out riding on January 16th, we came up with Team Couch Life for Life. And that is our logo, our riding team that we ride with. Me, Matt, Mikey B on occasion, Devesh Kumar on occasion. Devin used to ride. Simon Parmley is our Texas rider right now because he's not right up here right now. Fucking awesome, dude. But yeah, we started riding week after week after week, and I was riding on this hardtail bike, just having a blast, just getting fucking railed, dude. Like, my legs just destroyed because we're riding on those trails that weren't really made for that. So in January, I was borrowing that bike. In May, while I was working on the Collective on Tap, a customer heard that I was getting a mountain bike, and they thought, hey, dude, I've got a bike you can use. No big deal. I don't ride it. My friend doesn't ride it. You can have it. In my head, I'm like, cool, brand new bike, maybe older bike, whatever. Free bike that's not a hardtail. Full suspension bike. So, in my head, of course, I think this is going to be like a Toys R Us or Target bike. No hate on the dude. I just don't really expect a really expensive bike for free. Okay. So, he has me come over to his house, meet him, and he's fixing up the bike for me and kind of setting up for me. And when I pull up, he's got a 2006 Specialized Stump Jumper Pro. Stumpy Pro. Something like that. Just awesome bike. About a size too small for me, though. So I look like a clown riding it. But I ride this bike for all of about 6 months-ish. So I ride this bike, tear up on that bike, look like a clown riding it. It's a size too small for me. I'm having a fun time. It's more of a trail bike. And then he sees some pictures of me riding it when I was showing him some videos and stuff and some pictures. And he goes, hey, dude, that bike looks ridiculous on you. You should get a different one. I go, dude, you gave me this bike. I can't sell that. That's messed up. He goes, no, dude, sell it. Get a bike you want. I say, okay. So I sell that bike to our cook so he could ride. And I buy a school bus, is what I call it. Santa Cruz V10, 2008 Santa Cruz V10. It is a downhill bike that weighs about 6 gazillion pounds, aka about 48. But it's a very heavy bike, meant to point downhill and run over anything. Really awesome. So I get the Magic School Bus. I paint the Magic School Bus white on September 25th and turned it into Moby Dick. That's how that bike got the name Moby Dick when I said that Moby Dick got stolen. October 3rd of that year, we did our first Stevens Pass run. Got to go up on the lifts, do some real downhilling. Not real downhilling per se, but just more shoveled runs. There we go. The actually processed runs. And yeah, So that all happened. I got Moby Dick, and Moby Dick got stolen. But it was basically that mountain biking became very therapeutic to me. It became when I was out riding, I was out on the trails. Wouldn't put in music that often. It'd just be me, the dirt, whoever we're riding with, trying not to crash. We didn't worry about life. We didn't worry about anything else. You don't worry anything about that on the trails. You just ride and you fucking shred with the dirt, dude. You have a good time. And you throw up when you can't. Like, you throw up in the air. You do jumps and stuff. When I say throw up, I don't mean barf. You know, if you crash hard enough, you might barf. But yeah, speaking of crashes, we're gonna do a walk-off frame here. I'm gonna say, you know what? I got a better idea. I'm learning this as I go. So we're gonna say, hey, Josh, the crash guy, why don't we go over to you? And then I'm gonna cut it and edit it right there. Right at that point, and cut it over to me. So I don't know why I'm talking more right now. Maybe I'll do it right now, just to make that part funny. Who knows? So, thanks, Josh, the crash guy. Now it's back to us over here. Yeah, super produced, guys. Super produced. The last part of the video, what we're doing tonight, we are doing our goals, what we want to do moving forward, and kind of what we're kind of going with that. Because I've got some thoughts. We got our goals. Hold on, look at my other notes. Yep, goals. Goals is where we're at. So, my goal is to eventually go full-time with the streaming studio. The streaming studio is my garage. Pretty awesome. Content creation, all that good shit. We'll talk about all that more later in a different video, but things I was thinking about because of this video, because of mountain biking videos and the coverage we're going to be doing of mountain biking stuff this season and how we're going to ride with that and have that as a portion of the streaming studio and our podcast, even in theory. I don't know if you can listen about mountain biking though. I don't think you really want to listen to me running down a trail run. You can watch the video, but listening to a trail run could be just a lot of panting and it sounds weird. So, my goals, stay on track. No more excuses for not putting out videos, guys. I'm going to work on that a lot more. I have been trying to finish this out, so I put a lot of time into that. And also with the new job, I'm still getting used to that. The initial surge of videos was because I was very upset about something and it cut away a lot of my sleep time. And with life balance, I wanted to balance out more in life, so I kind of stood away from this for a little bit. And I wanted to get back into Twitch a little bit more. I've been streaming on that with my build-out stuff. So I apologize, I haven't been on YouTube in a bit. I'm sorry. Intro videos, we've got some of those coming in. Hey, back to you, Josh on the wall. He's going to show an intro video now that we're working on. Hey, thanks, Josh on the wall. Say that awesome rad super beer video that we're going to rename the title. We're going to do more of them. Other different types of intros, mountain biking intros, beer intro, because we're going to have the beer segment, we're going to have the mountain biking segment, we're going to have the gaming segment, we're going to have a cannabis segment. We're gonna have a probably just tasting and talk segment. We're gonna have a lot of different segments, and we're gonna have intros for each of them, so you guys know what you're getting into when you're watching. All right, and our goals for dollars, because that is important as someone who wants to do this full time. Views Plus and a GoPro Fusion or a Rilo are the cameras I'm looking at for down here in the studio. And these are the thoughts behind them. So at Views Plus, in theory, we could do a 360 degree or VR camera for here in the studio that would make it so you guys could either have a VR headset or scroll around on your Facebook or whatever platform supports it, and you can look around while I was live streaming. So I could do a tasting and talk, have people around me, be able to look around and see who's all there. Be more interacting is the idea. And then the Fusion would be the same in the studio. In theory, it just didn't look like it'd be able to interact as quickly because the VR, the 3 audio, my friend was selling me on it. I got to do some research and do some comparison. I might do a review video on those, or not review videos. I don't have those, but we'll do a research video on those. And the Fusion. Dude, that'd be so fucking amazing for riding. But my friend also said just check out the Rilo, so we're going to pair it with the Rilo and the Fusion. We're going to look at those and decide what we might get with those. Because I do have a discount on GoPro products of being a grassroots rider, and I would love to continue going with them. But if that Rilo is really what I want to be doing, and I can't stick with GoPro because the Rilo would be better quality for you guys on the streaming studio, we'll go with that. But we're going to compare all that more with that. Yep, we're sponsorship, working towards full-time, guys. That is part of the goal here. I'm going to be doing the podcast with this. Hopefully I publish this correctly, and that all gets done properly. If you guys are here at the end of the video now, thank you very much for watching the whole thing. I don't know how long we went this time. It looks about 20 minutes on this camera, but who fucking knows. I'm going to do a couple quick things over with this camera, so I'm going to switch the mode on this. But we're going to end the podcast. No, we're not. We're going to just stop the recording. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys all so much for hanging out tonight. I had a pleasant time. and I hope you guys had an awesome time watching this video. If you guys have any subjects you guys would like to hear covered, please let me know. Usually Storytime Sundays will be on time. The story of Trixie was supposed to come out on Sunday, but it didn't because catching up. That's all for now. We're going to do some other clips. Have a rad night. Much love. Thank you for hanging out in the Land of Kittens, Tacos, and Rainbows, a.k.a. the streaming studio. That's Fumbles for tonight. We'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Much love.